And here she is, Francesca. Good morning.
Good morning, Rob. How are you?
I'm doing great. How have you been?
I've been good. I drove up from the Cape this morning, and it was a breeze. I was scared listening to you when you were talking about some traffic going south, but I passed.
Yeah.
North. Excuse me, north.
Yeah. No, we did have some delays earlier, but that was up a little further north of you. But we have some southbound work crews at Plymouth Patuxent Highway. But as we know, Labor Day is come and gone, so hey, that's a good time to leave the Cape.
Exactly.
Or drive around the Cape. All right, so this week we have a question here that came in, and again, Francesca asks your questions, answers your questions. I should say she doesn't ask your questions. She answers them, and you can chime in at 781-837-4900, 781-837-4900. All right, you want me to read the question this week?
Sure, absolutely.
All right, this comes, you read it, Rob. Okay,
it looks like a long one.
This is from Jonathan. Yeah, so I'll read fast. All right, dear Francesca, I thought I met the woman of my dreams. She was beautiful, intelligent, and charming, and we shared so many interests. We spent a year together, but over time, I began noticing troubling behaviors. She created unnecessary drama, was dismissive to waitstaff, and seemed to want to control over everything. She even meddled in my relationship with my daughter, trying to isolate me from my friends and family. As time went on, she began speaking to me condescendingly, and I realized she had narcissistic traits that were affecting my mental health. Now, despite knowing I have to leave, I feel trapped. Every time I try to break up, she pulls me back in, and I feel emotionally drained, even though I know staying is toxic. How do I break free from this cycle and move on for good, Francesca? What do you say? Boy, a lot to unpack here.
Well, the first thing I would say is the fact that you think she's the woman of your dreams. That's a problem right there. It's never a good idea to think of anybody as sort of your everything. But honestly, she sounds like she has narcissistic behavior, and that tends to hide behind an initial facade of charm and warmth. Right? So over time, these unhealthy patterns begin to surface, like manipulation, control, emotional neglect, and they become an everyday occurrence, and breaking free can really seem impossible. But here's my little Love Bites tip and what you can begin to do to navigate the situation. First of all, pay attention to the cycles, because narcissists create an emotional roller coaster. They start out by being really loving, like love bombing you, engaging, but over time their behavior shifts to be dismissive and cruel, and she clearly sounds like she's not an angel. She does sound like she is a narcissist. And then you try to leave, and then they manipulate the situation, making you feel guilty, or worse, questioning your own decision. And the cycle preys on your emotions, and it's confusing, and it can keep you hooked. So, Rob, I'd love to know your thoughts on this.
Boy, yeah, I'm trying to think, it's been a year, but it sounds like, at least from the email, it feels like things have just gotten worse and worse and worse and worse, and I feel like it won't get any better. And so I think, unfortunately, for both, we certainly wish her well, but I think he does need to move on. I know.
You wish her well. Yes, I wish her to go away somewhere.
Maybe there's someone, maybe there's somebody else who, another narcissist, but that might be a topic for a future segment about, who's the best to match with a narcissist.
No one. His mother. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
But so for him, of course, you're saying that when he says woman of my dreams, that's kind of, it's clearly, she's not the woman of his dreams then, right?
Well, no, but I also think that when someone has that mentality, the woman of your dreams or the man of your dreams, I think that can be a dangerous place to be, because no one person can fulfill everything. So that sounds maybe a little juvenile way of thinking. I'm not saying that when you meet someone and you're excited and everything's wonderful and those endorphins are going and the Oxycontin is kicking in, that sure, you have that feeling, but I just get concerned about that quote unquote person of your dreams. So, but one thing that I do want to mention is that these, you need to sort of understand your emotional triggers, right? So if you stay in this kind of a relationship, you end up being depressed, anxious, and start to have this inability to focus on basic things like eating and sleeping, and they make you feel like you can't live without them. And so you need to recognize that these feelings are a direct result of the toxic dynamics that will, and understanding that will help push you through the pain of cutting these ties. And the other thing I want to mention too is that you really need to set clear boundaries, because narcissists don't have any respect for boundaries. And the second you back off, they're going to just like come back hard and strong. You know, it reminds me of, you know, like a little baby, and when they have that mobile thing that hangs, and if a piece of that comes off, right, what happens to that whole system? The whole thing goes haywire.
Yeah.
And that's the way it is with a narcissist too. If you pull back, if you push back, they don't like it, and they're going to want to, as quickly as possible, pull you back in. And they may even, you know, say that they will change. They will do all sorts of things. And then, you know, you feel, there's that feeling of, oh, okay, yeah, I can give them another chance. But this cycle can be just devastating. So you really need to practice what I believe is that you need to really stay committed to that no contact rule. Right? And that means like no contact. That means blocking the person. That means not taking any, well, obviously if they're blocked, you won't even get their phone calls. But you really need to stay focused on looking ahead of you, not in that rearview mirror, because the relationship is destructive.
Okay, so you're saying for him, he should block her?
Yeah, I know. I mean, that sounds like, I think blocking is the worst thing that you can, the last thing that you should always do. But in this case, yes, I do think so, because he has said that she meddles in his relationships with, I think he said his daughter.
Yeah, so he must have a daughter.
Right. She tries to isolate him from friends and family. Those are really, that kind of personality is not only narcissistic, but can almost have like a borderline type of personality where they come across like so nice, but they're very deceiving, and then behind closed doors, which makes it even more difficult. Like when she's with his friends, perhaps maybe she's just very sweet, and it's like, oh, she's so nice.
Very charming.
Very charming, exactly.
Yeah, why would you break up with this woman? She sounds great.
Exactly.
Okay, so narcissists, are they narcissists then are people, when we first meet them, we like them usually?
You know what? Narcissists tend to be extremely charming.
Okay.
Very, very charming. Okay. And I mean, that doesn't mean there aren't people who are charming and aren't charming and just wonderful.
No, yeah.
But narcissists are notorious for love bombing, just making you feel like you are their whole world. You are just wonderful. You don't ever have to have another care in the world, because I will take care of everything in your life, and everything is wonderful. And you just sort of feel like, almost like I can take a nice deep breath now.
Yeah, everything is great. They're going to take care of everything.
That's right. But there is definitely, listener, there is an emotional cost to staying. And you are in a very difficult spot. And it's okay to admit that. But the emotional toll on the relationship really that is taken on you sounds like it's huge.
All right. Well, we hope that helps you out, and we're sorry there, but it's best to probably move on. Again, I think the key words are, it's narcissistic, mental health, toxic, emotionally drained. So, I don't see where you're going to go there.
Right. And all I have to say is just, you know what, you've got this. You just keep focused, lean on the people who care about you, lean on the people who love you. And before you know it, one day you'll look back and go, whew, so glad that's over.
Ooh. Diane has a text in 781-837-4900. Diane says, narcissists are highly, narcissists and highly empathetic people are irresistibly attracted to one another. The empathetic person in the relationship will become addicted to the relationship. The way out is through self-reflection, identify what inner wound is driving them to be pulled in by the narcissist, and heal that wound.
I love that, Diane.
Oh, Diane, that's very nice. Thank you for adding that in.
Yes, that's so profound. Thank you. That is absolutely 110%. Empaths are notorious for being just like, they're like a magnet to the narcissist. So, yes, again, Diane, thank you so much for that very profound feedback. Those golden nuggets are just great. Again, thank you.
All right.
All right.
Pete from Hingham, I think this might be a joke, says, Doctor, you've got to help me. I'm addicted to Twitter. And the doctor says, I don't follow you. Oh, there you go. There's Pete from Hingham with a little bit of levity there. All right. Thank you, Pete.
Thank you, Pete.
All right. And people, send your questions in, 781-837-4900, or go to Francesca's website. There's a form there. Francesca, where do people go to follow
They go
you?
to my website and just click on Ask Me Anything, and I will get right back to you. I can't promise it'll be the week that you send it in, but I certainly will get to your question. Absolutely.
Talk with Francesca?
Talkwithfrancesca.com. Yep.
Talkwithfrancesca.com. Check out the website, talkwithfrancesca.com. She's with us every week at this time on WATD for Love Bites. And don't forget the Tuesday Truth Bomb at 8:26. A little kiss from Love Bites on
Thank you,
WATD.
Rob.
Thanks, Francesca.
All right. Thanks, Rob.